Welcome to AI Briefing. The content of the briefing includes Alberta partnering with AI company to try to predict wildfires before they ignite. Live markets Asia stocks rise as Beijing ramps up stimulus. Live updates. US orders immediate halt to some AI chip exports to China, says Nvidia. Reckitt's new boss hunts for a performance cure. The London rush. Toyota aims to put 1000 km range Lexus EV on the road by 2026. Alberta partnering with AI company to try to predict wildfires before they ignite. The Toronto Star. The Provincial Wildfire Agency in Alberta, Canada, has partnered with software company AltaML to use artificial intelligence, AI, to predict where wildfires are most likely to occur. The AI software analyses data collected over the past few decades to identify patterns and predict the location of future fires. The technology provides additional information to duty officers, allowing them to make faster decisions and allocate resources more effectively. The use of AI could save the province up to $5 million per year. Live markets Asia stocks rise as Beijing ramps up stimulus. Live updates. Telegraph. Asian stocks rose on Wednesday following China's announcement of a 1 trillion yuan, $146 billion, sovereign bond issuance. The funds will be used to rebuild areas affected by floods and improve urban infrastructure. The announcement raised hopes of economic stabilization, leading to a 0.5% increase in Shanghai's CSI 300 index and a 1.2% increase in Japan's Nikkei. Half of the funds are expected to be spent this year, with the remainder to be used next year. US orders immediate halt to some AI chip exports to China, says Nvidia. The Guardian. The US has accelerated the deadline for chip designer Nvidia to impose new restrictions on the export of some of its high-end artificial intelligence, AI, chips to China. The company did not disclose the reason for the accelerated timing, but it does not expect an immediate impact on its earnings. The restrictions, announced by the Biden administration in October, aim to prevent countries such as China, Iran, and Russia from receiving advanced AI chips. The move affects Nvidia's A800 and H800 chips, as well as the A100, H100, and L40S chips. Reckitt's new boss hunts for a performance cure. The London rush. Bloomberg. Reckitt Benckiser Group has announced a £1 billion, $1.3 billion, share buyback and a new target of mid-single-digit percentage growth in sales. However, the company's third-quarter sales were held back by its infant formula business, which grew at a slower pace than expected. Lloyds Banking Group's pre-tax profit rose to £1.86 billion, ahead of analysts' estimates, while its net interest margin fell slightly to 3.08%. Deutsche Bank is writing off some of the goodwill value of UK corporate broker Numis, which it acquired for £410 million earlier this month. The UK has 3 years to come up with rules to reassure people about artificial intelligence before changes in the way work is done unleash the potential for social unrest, an industry expert has warned. Toyota aims to put 1000 km range Lexus EV on the road by 2026. Reuters. Toyota has unveiled the LFZC concept car, a Lexus model with a range of around 1000 kilometers, 620 miles, which it plans to release by 2026. The car utilizes advanced battery technology to achieve double the range of conventional electric vehicles, EVs. Toyota aims to reduce the size and increase the efficiency of batteries to improve power and range. The automaker has also announced plans to launch next-generation lithium-ion batteries and solid-state batteries, which are expected to offer even longer ranges and faster charging. The LFZC concept car features advanced AI technology called Butler that can identify driver preferences. Toyota has committed to making battery EVs account for 100% of global sales of the Lexus brand by 2035. Milli Vanilli, 30 years on from scandal, I realized how mean human beings can be. The Sydney Morning Herald. A new documentary about the pop duo Milli Vanilli reframes their infamous lip-syncing scandal as a cautionary tale of exploitation and corporate greed. The film explores the role of German producer Frank Farian, who signed Fabrice Morvan and Rob Pilatus to a multi-album deal and revealed that they would not be singing on the recordings. Instead, they were expected to lip-sync to the voices of other performers. The film also delves into the racial exploitation that Morvan and Pilatus experienced, as well as the tragic death of Pilatus in 1998. The documentary sheds light on the music industry's power dynamics and the hypocrisy surrounding the scandal, including the revocation of Milli Vanilli's Grammy Award. Fabrice Morvan, one half of Milli Vanilli, recounts the difficulties he faced following the scandal, including ridicule and loss of opportunities. However, he still performs regularly and has found a sense of appreciation for the impact that the duo's music had on people's lives. The documentary aims to provide a more nuanced understanding of the Milli Vanilli story, revealing the human side of the duo and the inner workings of the music industry. The Milli Vanilli scandal was a significant moment in pop music history, highlighting the pressure for authenticity and the consequences of deception. The documentary offers a fresh perspective on the events and their impact on the lives of those involved. It serves as a reminder of the complexities and challenges faced by artists in the music industry. What eucalyptus, beetroot salad and cutlery reveal about the US-Australia alliance. The Sydney Morning Herald. Australian Prime Minister Anthony Albanese's state dinner at the White House was slightly scaled back due to the escalating crisis in the Middle East. The dinner, hosted by US President Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden, featured a menu created by a team of all-female chefs. The meal included a butternut squash soup and roasted beet salad, sarsaparilla braised short ribs, and a hazelnut and chocolate mousse cake. The event marked another high point in the US-Australia alliance despite the challenges faced during Albanese's visit. AI-created child sexual abuse images threaten to overwhelm Internet. The Guardian. The Internet Watch Foundation, IWF, has warned that the worst nightmares about AI-generated child sexual abuse imagery are starting to come true and threaten to overwhelm the Internet. It said that almost 3,000 abuse images had been found that broke UK law, with existing images of real-life abuse victims being built into AI models to create new depictions of them. The technology is also being used to create images of celebrities that have been de-aged and then depicted as children in sexual abuse scenarios. NVIDIA must halt China AI chip sales immediately. BBC. NVIDIA has revealed that the US has instructed it to immediately stop shipping some of its advanced artificial intelligence (AI) chips to China. The move comes after President Joe Biden's administration announced measures last month to block countries, including China, Iran, and Russia, from purchasing high-end AI chips designed by NVIDIA and others. The new restrictions bar the export of NVIDIA's advanced AI chips, which had been designed for the Chinese market to comply with earlier export regulations. This development is the latest in the ongoing technology dispute between the US and China. Chinese authorities have yet to publicly comment on NVIDIA's announcement. Microsoft's AI bets lift cloud business, as Google Cloud disappoints. South China Morning Post. Shares in Alphabet fell by 7% while Microsoft's rose by 5% following the release of Q3 earnings reports. Although Alphabet beat analyst expectations for profit and sales, investors were disappointed by the performance of its cloud business, which lagged behind Microsoft's Azure and Amazon's AWS. Microsoft's success in AI, driven by its investment in OpenAI, has put it ahead in the cloud computing market. Kokusai Electric shares jumped 29% in Tokyo debut. Reuters. Shares of Kokusai Electric, a chip equipment maker, surged 29% in their Tokyo market debut after private equity firm KKR sold shares in the company for $724 million in Japan's largest IPO in 5 years. The stock opened at 2,116 Japanese yen, $19.78, and climbed to a high of 2,371 Japanese yen, valuing the company at 546.3 billion Japanese yen, $5.11 billion. Kokusai had priced its shares at 1,840 Japanese yen in the largest Tokyo listing since SoftBank Corp went public in 2018. Chip tool manufacturers have suffered from a downturn in the market for electronics such as smartphones and PCs. Australia seeks rapid passage of AUKUS laws to spur US Congress. Bloomberg. Australia is planning to introduce legislation to expedite the implementation of the AUKUS agreement before the end of the year. Prime Minister Anthony Albanese is personally lobbying lawmakers in Washington to facilitate information sharing between the allies. Both the US and Australia need to pass new legislation to enable Canberra to deploy a fleet of US-designed nuclear-powered submarines by the 2030s. The legislation aims to streamline information and technology transfers between the two countries. The AUKUS agreement, signed in September 2021, also involves collaboration on research areas such as quantum computing and artificial intelligence. Progress on the necessary changes in the US Congress has been slow, but Acting Prime Minister Richard Marles expressed confidence that they would eventually pass. How the Middle East can play a vital role in the Asian century. South China Morning Post. Asia is set to shape its own governance ethos, addressing challenges including climate change and the nuances of artificial intelligence, AI, according to Richard Atias, CEO of the Future Investment Initiative Institute. In an op-ed for the Saudi Gazette, Atias said the Middle East would be a pivotal nexus, bridging the gap between East and West. The Future Investment Initiative Institute is currently holding a summit in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia, to discuss the challenges of the Asian century. Press Digest British Business October 25. Yahoo! The UK's financial regulators have officially scrapped the banker bonus cap, discarding one of the key reforms that the EU had introduced in response to the 2008 financial crisis. Pedophiles using AI to turn celebrities into kids. BBC. Pedophiles are using artificial intelligence, AI, to create images of celebrities as children, according to the Internet Watch Foundation, IWF. The IWF's latest report reveals that images of a well-known female singer reimagined as a child are being shared by predators on the dark web. The report also highlights a new trend of predators taking single photos of well-known child abuse victims and recreating many more of them in different sexual abuse settings. The IWF is urging the UK government to address the issue at next week's AI summit at Bletchley Park. That's all for today's news from the Six Dimension world. Let's recap what we've learned. Alberta in Canada is partnering with an AI company to predict wildfires and potentially save millions of dollars. Asian stocks rose after China announced a $146 billion bond issuance for flood recovery and urban infrastructure. The US has ordered NVIDIA to halt the export of some AI chips to China as part of ongoing technology disputes. Reckitt Benckiser Group plans a share buyback and sales growth, while Lloyds Banking Group reports higher profits. Toyota aims to release an electric Lexus model with a 1,000-kilometer range by 2026. A documentary about Milli Vanilli reframes their lip-syncing scandal as a tale of exploitation and corporate greed. The Internet Watch Foundation warns about the proliferation of AI-generated child sexual abuse imagery. Microsoft's AI investments boost its cloud business, while Google Cloud disappoints. Kokusai Electric's shares surge in their Tokyo debut after a large IPO. Australia seeks to expedite legislation for the AUKUS agreement and deepen collaboration with the US. The Middle East can play a vital role in shaping the Asian century, addressing challenges such as climate change and AI. The UK has officially scrapped the banker bonus cap introduced after the 2008 financial crisis. The Internet Watch Foundation reports that pedophiles are using AI to create exploitative images of celebrities and child abuse victims. Now, let's dive into some analysis. The use of AI in predicting wildfires in Alberta is a prime example of how technology can help us tackle environmental challenges. By analyzing decades' worth of data, AI can identify patterns and enhance decision-making, potentially saving lives and resources. It's a smart investment that shows the power of AI in addressing real-world problems. On the economic front, China's bond issuance for flood recovery and infrastructure improvement is a positive sign for the region. It not only helps rebuild affected areas but also boosts market sentiment and economic stabilization. It's a reminder of the interconnectedness of global markets and how one country's actions can impact others. The ongoing technology disputes between the US and China continue to unfold, with NVIDIA being instructed to halt chip exports to China. This move is in line with the Biden administration's efforts to restrict the flow of advanced AI technology to certain countries. It highlights the importance of AI in national security and the growing tensions surrounding its development and deployment. In the entertainment industry, the Milli Vanilli documentary sheds light on the darker side of the music industry and the exploitation of artists. It's a cautionary tale about the pressure for authenticity and the consequences of deception. It's a reminder that behind the glitz and glamour, there are often complex power dynamics and human stories. Lastly, the proliferation of AI-generated child abuse imagery is a disturbing trend that needs urgent attention. The Internet Watch Foundation's report highlights the dark side of AI and its potential for harm. It's a call to action for governments and tech companies to develop robust regulations and safeguards to protect vulnerable individuals. That wraps up today's news analysis. Now, I'd love to hear from you, our audience. What are your thoughts on these news stories? Do you have any questions or opinions to share? Let's open up the discussion. Thank you for tuning in. The content above showcases the latest briefing reports and analytical synopses, thoughtfully curated by the 6Do team. These insights stem from a wide array of reputable media outlets, think tanks, government sources, and specialized experts worldwide. We encourage you to explore these sources for a comprehensive perspective. Keep in mind that while the content may not always align with the official standpoint of 6Do Brief, it's not meant to be taken as absolute directives for decision-making. Comprising seasoned media professionals, learned scholars, and accomplished scientists, the 6Do team embodies a trailblazing, fully independent media entity. To customize 6Do Brief to meet your professional needs, you have the option to subscribe to a diverse array of briefings on our website, 6dobrief.com. Regardless of your location, you can conveniently receive 6Do Brief via email.